there was an act that came into force called the Small Claims Act of 2016. And Section 4 of that act establishes the Small Claims Court. Marvin anataka kusum to small claims.
Creatives. I know.
By the way,
creative industry.
Creatives in yenu.
Yeah.
Influencers. Let me tell you. I think we need to have a band of influencers under a lawyer that will, a pro bono lawyer that will just be telling you, this is in of farm yangu, wacha nifungue, kujeni, if you want to sue, tuweke watu small claims.
It's true.
Sindio?
Yeah, because I think I've had a lot of complaints from the creative industry about delays in honoring invoices and things like that. So, small claims court.
This is your chance.
This is your chance. Yeah.
People are suing each other, by the way. If you want to know, people are suing
each other out here.
Really suing each other.
Yeah.
And
especially business people.
And the courts that are most affected, or the ones that have the most number of cases, are the chief magistrates courts, and now the small claims courts, and especially the ones in urban areas like the Milimani one for sure. Hi guys, welcome to the rundown. My name is Mihala Barasa.
And I'm Danin Zuko.
And welcome to the channel. Welcome to today's episode. Thank you for watching the past episodes that we've put up. As a matter of urgency, let's look down here. Are you seeing the subscribe button? Sarah, I'm talking to you. Please subscribe. Please put the notification bell on. For those of you who have already subscribed, thank you so much. Today we are going to handle a short and sweet. I wanted to say quick and fast, but that's not true. Short and sweet topic. So what are we going to talk about?
Today we are going to be talking about the small claims court. Okay? You'd want to know what does the small claims court handle? Which cases go there? What is the difference between the small claims court and the other courts? Mm-hmm. Our resident advocate of the High Court
of Kenya,
yes, shall tell us what is the difference between the High Court and the Small Claims Court. Are they all the same?
No, they are not.
Okay, clearly.
Nada. They aren't.
They aren't the same thing. So, if I am not an advocate of the High Court, can I go as a lawyer in the Small Claims Court?
No, you cannot.
But you say you're advocates of the High Court.
Because it's like the gold standard. It's like you're the equilibrium.
Okay.
And I do guess maybe we should be called the advocates of the Supreme Court, so that it's the highest court in the land.
Because you can go and
yes, you can go to any court from top to bottom, but there's no advocate of the Small Claims Court, advocate of the Subordinate Court, advocate of the High Court, advocate of the Court of Appeal, no. It's just standard advocate of the High Court of Kenya.
Okay. All right. That's fine. So for me to qualify to go to KSL, I need to have done a degree.
Yes, you need to have an undergrad in law.
So you can't go if you have a diploma in law.
No.
What were diploma of law? Because I had the people who do diploma in law. What do they do?
They become paralegals.
Paralegals.
Yes.
Okay.
Most of them are paralegals, but a lot of them upgrade to do undergrad and to become advocates. Because I do think it's...
Because if you're a paralegal, after some time you'll
know the processes.
Yes.
And then I don't think anyone really sets out to oh my God, I really want a diploma in law. I don't know, but I don't think that's...
Or they usually have I'm working towards this.
Yes.
I get you. All right. Good to know. That was just general knowledge. Has nothing to do with today's episode. So, as I mentioned, today we'll be talking about the Small Claims Court. Now, Mihala.
Yes.
Do you want to start off by listing for us the various courts that we have in Kenya?
Okay. I'll try and get this off the top of my head.
Okay.
If I miss something and you're an advocate, feel free to plug into the comment section and kind of tell me, unatudanganya. But I would say at the bottom of the, let me call it a pyramid. At the bottom of the pyramid or the tier, we have the Small Claims Court. So the Small Claims Court, we'll talk more about it, but it has its own jurisdiction, handles a very specific set of matters that we will talk about. Because I need to take this conversation further before we come to the small claims court. Then there's something called the chief magistrates or the magistrates courts. So the magistrate courts, they are different. There's the resident magistrate, senior resident magistrates. There are different categories, but generally we can just call them the magistrates courts or the chief magistrates courts. So the chief magistrate court is the highest in that hierarchy. Then there are some below it. So the chief magistrate courts are usually your courts of first instance. Like when you first have a claim, if you're not going to the small claims court, which has a very limited jurisdiction, most of the civil cases and criminal cases for a very long time go to the chief magistrates courts. Then there's the high court. If you have a chief magistrates court case that you feel like the decision was not done right, you take it to the high court. Then the high court also has has something called original jurisdiction. It's like it hears the case at first instance for cases like murder, treason, and then there are other civil cases that the high court gets to listen to. So when you look at the high court, a lot of the times you'll find it has different divisions. So they have the commercial division, they have the family division, and some of these divisions are also in the magistrates courts. But then you go chief magistrates courts, high court with different divisions, and then you go to the court of appeal. So if you have a case from the high court and you didn't like the judgment that you are given, you go to the court of appeal. The court of appeal is just, as it's called, an appellate court. So it hears appeals from the high court. Then after the court of appeal, you go to the Supreme Court. So Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. It's those ones zenye tunasemanga wakisema, wamesema.
Yeah.
Then in the Kenyan court system, there's a way that, and then there's tribunals. Tribunals are different, but most of them have the status of a chief magistrates court. Chief magistrates courts and the high court, hapo katikati, they have specialized, let me call them branches.
Okay.
Or like, let me just call them branches. So you'll find Employment and Labor Relations Court. They have their own specialized judges that listen to those. Family, children's cases, they have their own judges, the judges and magistrates that listen to those. Succession cases, specialized magistrates and judges that listen to those. And then the way it's broken down, even the magistrates that hear criminal case, the magistrates and judges that hear criminal cases nowadays, mostly you'll know this is a criminal court for the most part. This is a civil court. So especially in the high court, you'll know this is a judge that works in the criminal division. Actually, they're called divisions. So you'll hear this is a magistrate that works in the criminal division. Then there's petitions. So constitutional petitions, hizo zenye akina mtoto wanakimbianga wakipiga kelele, judicial reviews. They also have a specialized line of judges and magistrates, judges that hear it. Actually, for petitions, most of the time it's just judges. And then there's the commercial division. I don't know if I've left out any. There's the commercial division that hears differences in commercial disputes. Then there's the environmental and land court, yenye inasikiza kesi za mashamba. So it's the hierarchy literally is small claims courts, chief magistrates courts or magistrates courts and kadhi courts hapo kando. And then it's like on the same. Then high court, court of appeal, Supreme Court. Then there are specialized divisions within the high court and chief magistrates courts that hear and determine different kinds of disputes.
Okay. Yeah. So you've said kadhi courts. I've just remembered when the 2010 constitution was coming into force, there was a lot of talk around the Christian community that kadhi's courts are going to, that now a Muslim is going to take you to a kadhi's court. You never heard those stories?
No, but I find it very strange.
That's the thing. There was so much drama about the kadhi's courts being put in the constitution, especially from the church.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So now when you've mentioned it, I've just thought to myself, actually, we've had kadhi's courts for all those years. And that story just died down.
A natural death.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe there was someone who was bringing in some
misinterpretation.
Of what the kadhi's courts are. Because we're not an Islamic state. So I really doubt this. If I'm a Muslim, I'd take you a Christian, to a kadhi's court.
I also don't think that's, maybe it's happened, but I don't think it's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
Actually, there's the other day, I don't know if you saw on the news, there's a guy that was telling Muslims that he's going to take them to the pilgrimage. And then it was supposed to happen over the December holidays, but now they are still waiting to be taken, and then they took him to the Kadhi court. That's actually the very first time I actually saw, like, I was privy to a very active criminalish case in the Kadhi court, but I think they're going to ask for some sort of compensation from him. But
so he defrauded his
fellow. That was exactly my thought. Like,
okay, even Christians defraud their
even
fellow.
then I was like,
It's okay.
Okay, Minnesota. Like, wow.
Like, yeah, I think, well, anyway, we've talked about it. Fraud, corruption in Kenya is a big issue. Okay. But actually, yes, that would be something that...
religious lines. Sorry.
I guess that would be something that would be had in the Kadhi's courts.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Good to know. Thanks. All right. So now we can now talk about the small claims court. So what type of cases go to the small claims court? Or maybe you can start with, because we didn't have the small claims court before in Kenya. And at some point they came in. So what is the purpose of this small claims court, and what are the type of cases that are had in the small claims court?
That's a good question. Pre-2016, we didn't have the small claims court.
Yes.
I think the way the Kenyan court system works, in my opinion, is the judiciary will listen to cases, and then they'll kind of identify a need, and then they'll go ahead and address that need. Pre-2016, the magistrates' courts, even now, they are still very overwhelmed with cases. But I think it was worse pre-2016. Like, they were people are suing each other, by the way. If you want to know, people are suing each other.
People are suing each other
People
out
are
here.
really suing each other.
Yeah.
And
especially business people.
And the courts that are most affected, or the ones that have the most number of cases, are the chief magistrates courts, and now the small claims courts, and especially the ones in urban areas, like the Milimani one for sure. I'm sure they have lots of cases. When you check the cost list is like the list of cases for a day. Especially like if you check the ones for the adjudicators of the small claims court, because that's what those people are, the people that lead cases, they are called. We call them magistrates, but it's the act meant to call them adjudicators. Someone has like 50, 60, 40 cases in the cost list the same day. Some of them are being mentioned, some of them are hearing for application, some of them are main hearing, some of them are delivering judgments. So pre-2016, to my point, pre-2016, I think the magistrates courts were extremely overwhelmed. So they came up with a plan to bring in the small claims court. Yeah. So in 2016, there was an act that came into force called the Small Claims Act of 2016. And Section 4 of that act establishes the small claims court. And how the small claims court was established was to have a jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is like to rule over, to have power over cases that are below 1 million Kenya shillings. 1 million Kenya shillings and below. What does that then tell you? That tells you that if they have we call it pecuniary jurisdiction, if they have a money jurisdiction of 1 million cases, predominant of 1 million Kenya shillings, predominantly these are civil cases. What are civil cases? Civil cases is, I gave Ndanu a service, she didn't deliver the service, I need her to pay me back. So if I sue Ndanu, she will pay me the amount that she owes me from the service, and sometimes if court says you can pay me damages. That's very different from if Ndanu stole my phone. If Ndanu stole my phone and I go and report to the police station, then that's a criminal case. Yeah. If Ndanu is taken to a criminal court, that's not even called suing. If there's a criminal case instituted against Ndanu, it's highly unlikely that at the end of it, the magistrate will say, Ndanu, give me her phone back. It's, you stole, therefore you get fined a certain amount of money. So that's the difference between civil and criminal cases. In civil cases, as the complainant, you're able to recover your money. But in criminal cases, you can agree hapa katikati ya kurudishe pesa yako mmalizane, but if the case goes to completion and they are filed or jailed, then you have to institute a civil case. Yes, to get your money. So
okay, now you know the difference between a civil case and a criminal case. All right.
So the small claims court is a court of civil jurisdiction. Let's start from there. And the value is 1 million and below.
Okay.
So the purpose of it was to help the Chief Magistrates Court adjudicate on this smaller cases quickly and remove them from court and give the Chief Magistrates Court a chance to determine the larger amounts, the cases with larger amounts. Yeah.
Okay, I get you. That's actually a very interesting way to look at it. So the small claims court only handles civil cases. There are no criminal cases that are handled at the small claims court. Okay, and I think that is also something important for guys to also understand. So probably someone is thinking, how come this guy was in jail after our case? Then only for them to realize, that was
Ni
a
pesa
civil
yangu tu,
case.
yeah, that was a civil case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. All right. So we've talked about, maybe you can give us some examples of the type of the cases that have been had in the small claims court.
Okay. That's also a good question. So when you look at the jurisdiction of the small claims court, we get into maybe a contract for supply of goods and services, like the example I gave with Ndanu, and then the value is below 1,000, the small claims court will be able to hear that. And then if it's a contract maybe relating to money held or received, maybe nimekupatia pesa au umeniekea, then you're not returning that money or something like that, small claims court can be
Yes.
able to hear and determine those cases. We know movable property. Movable property is like your
car.
TV, your car, your phone. So any liability or any damage that is made to a movable property of yours, and you can prove, you say, okay, I took my phone to Ndanu, who's a phone repairer, and they removed thing XYZ, and now the phone is not working. That kind of damage to a movable property. Or I took my car to the mechanic ruined ABCDE. Or I left my TV at this shop, and then when I came back, it was ruined. That kind of damage. And you can substantiate. You can say, okay, when I left my TV, it was okay. My TV is worth 128,000 Kenya shillings. And then when I left it in this shop, I come back, it's not working. I want a refund. That kind of damage, that one, the small claims court can listen to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's good to know. And probably just what you've talked about, that the magistrate courts, of course, I'm guessing they were overwhelmed, because if you think about the number of disputes people have, especially during business transactions, then you would understand how the small claims court work. Now, just something off the curve. During the sessions in the small claims court, like during the hearings, how many minutes does it take for the judge to listen to one case?
Depends. I think, so small claims court actually is very, the process is very interesting. The way you institute a small claims court case, it's like a form. It's like a form that you just fill out the information.
Yes.
And then you file, and then you file your witness statements and the documents and whatnot. Actually, it's one of the courts that if you asked me, and lawyers will kill me for this, you most genuinely, for the most part, don't need a lawyer. So sometimes you'll see some cases in the small claims court, and you'll hear the adjudicator go like, okay, Ndanu, what is your issue? Mihala, what is your issue?
Yeah.
Can you guys like go and agree and come back? And sometimes even those questions are usually asked when it gets to hearing. You'll hear the questions are being asked with the exclusion of the lawyer. Be like, okay, yes, you have counsel, but what happened? Can you guys go with your counsels outside, like take 5 minutes and then agree and then come back, and then we get to close the case. The timeline for determination of small claims court cases was set at 3 months, start to finish. They're supposed to have ended. I do not think that timeline is currently very strictly adhered to. I just think maybe that timeline might have been extrapolated for a bit, but that's just to tell you a lot of cases that are had in the small claims court, it's very quick, because for the most part, the cases that go to the small claims court are largely dependent on paperwork.
Yes.
So if your paperwork is tight, the magistrate will say, okay, you wrote a witness statement. Do you go by? Is there any, like, if there's anything else that you need to be added on the witness statement, maybe that's what you'll testify on.
Yeah.
Whatever is already in the witness statement is already considered something that is on court record. So you get cross-examined on it. So the other lawyer gets a chance to ask you questions on it, and you get to maybe how can I put this? The re-examination is to set the record straight, to return your case to to where you wanted the magistrate to see it go. So you instead of me coming to that court and asking you
Yes.
questions as my client, I say
get.
we wrote a statement. The other advocate cross-examine Ndanu on our statement. They cross-examine you. After the cross-exam, I'm like, okay, so you raised these issues on the cross-examination, and maybe I need to introduce issues 1, 2, 3. We do that, and we
close the case.
We close the case.
All right, I think that's quite efficient. So basically, I think you've talked about. My next question was who can institute a claim in the small claims court. So since our apologies to the lawyers, since you've said most of them are straightforward, can I institute a claim without a lawyer?
Yes,
I can.
Yes.
All right.
Actually, in any court, you can institute a claim against anyone without a lawyer. The thing is, the challenge is usually whether or not you understand the process. There are some cases that I usually say, if you squint, if you look clearly, lawyers are not needed. For me, the other one, again, lawyers are going to kill me. The other one that is usually very straightforward for me, that usually really doesn't require much of a lawyer's eye, is straightforward succession cases. Like if there's a will, you're not disputing, like it's a quick sail through. For the most part, like the lawyer's work is very minimal. The small claims court, to start with, there's a standard form.
Yeah.
If you can read and you can write, it's literally like almost like filling from your bank. You fill out the form. Witness statement, you put your account of facts. Then they say, like, list of witnesses. Maybe it's just you. You're like, yes, I'm just going to testify because my paperwork is tight. List of documents, all the documents, and you file. You know, so the only tricky part is that part where do I know when should I serve, when should I not serve, who should I serve, who should I not serve, when do I know the case is coming up for hearing, when do I not? It's actually, I think, probably more the procedure than the paperwork is what probably you might need guidance on.
Okay. Makes sense. All right. So following that, how would I go about filing a case with the small claims court?
That's an interesting question. I think the first part of it is getting the forms. So those forms are at the back of the Small Claims Court Act. I think it's usually called SSC Form 1. Then the other way you can actually get it is just put the information on Google and just say Small Claims Claim Form Kenya. You'll see.
You'll get
it. You'll get it. Or even more safely, I think even the judiciary website. Usually, you might have to chokora a little bit, but the judiciary website usually has that form. So you take the form, you fill it out. The challenge usually comes, again, another challenge that I had not anticipated to tell you, usually comes with, because most of the cases will be filed by your lawyer through their judiciary. They have a portal. Each law firm usually has a portal. So if you go to the portal for my firm, you'll see all the cases I'm handling. So I think one of the fastest and best ways to cure that is you just go with the form to Milimani. And you say, okay, not after. If you go to the customer care desk and say, I'm looking for a way that I can file this case, someone will direct you.
Okay. Yes. That's good. Do you pay any fees when you're filing a case?
I think you do.
Yeah.
I think you do, because I think for most cases that at least for the ones that I have been part of, most of the times there's like a nominal fee that is paid. Most of the time it will not exceed a G, by the way. But there's a fee that's attached to the filing of most of the cases.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's quite it's an affordable process for any Kenyan to be able to afford it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Then probably, I know it follows the normal process of any case. So that means when I file the case, I need to also serve the respondent as well. So if I don't have a lawyer, I need to ensure that I do it or that I get it done.
Yes.
If I have a lawyer, the lawyer then will
serve it.
Will help with that.
An interesting thing about service, someone recently sent me 1 shilling, and I know maybe I'm going to get served very soon.
About to be served.
Yeah. You know what happens with lawyers? Nowadays, I hear we don't do it much because Safaricom kind of allows you to see someone's name on M-Pesa without the money. Yes. But if I'm serving someone called Grace Ndanunziuko, the fastest way to determine the person that I have served, especially through WhatsApp, because we're allowed to serve through WhatsApp nowadays, WhatsApp or email. So I can send it to your WhatsApp. If I open and see Ndanu has her WhatsApp, what then do? I send you 1 shilling. And if that is the name that comes on your M-Pesa, then I can file that message in court and say, look, this is the number that I served. This is the name that comes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that's one way that.
What
so
have you done for you to be served?
I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe someone wants to serve me as someone's advocate. I don't know. But if you ever receive a shilling.
I hope it's not me. because I've been causing trouble and saying my best friend is a lawyer.
Clearly. But if you ever receive 1 shilling, ogopa,
ujue tu kuna mtu anajaribu kukuserve.
Someone is trying to serve you with something. Highly likely.
Whoa, okay. That's good to know. All right. Then, so for this type of case, because you told us the cases should take between 3 to 6 months.
Actually, it's supposed to be 3 months.
3 months specifically.
But I think that period is lost somewhere in performance.
I get. So that means then the respondent has a short period.
Yes.
Yes.
The respondent usually has, I think it's 15 days to respond.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
And the small claims court, like the magistrates that know their work, the adjudicators, they're fast.
It moves.
They'll be
speed.
like, yes, you come, I'll give you 2 days, I'll give you 3 days, I'll give you 7 days. And if you don't file, like the case moves.
Oh.
Yes. The case just moves.
Shauri yako.
If you don't file, and there's a lot of people who have judgments against them in the small claims court just because they
just dilly-dallied.
Yes. You dilly-dally, they get a judgment.
Okay. Then, so maybe I'll ask this question for the people who live in diaspora. For the people who live in diaspora, they can also be able to get a case on the small claims court.
Yes. Actually, we did one with Munai. We did one with Munai for someone that, I can't remember. Where is she based? Is she based in the UK or the US? Yes. You can, as long as the defendant or the respondent, the person that you're suing, lives in Kenya,
yes,
you can file. If the business that was conducted, maybe was conducted in Kenya, you can file. If maybe the money that you're saying was put in a Kenyan bank account, you can file here.
Yes.
And same to different towns. Same to different towns. So whatever determines the jurisdiction is not where you live, but where the course of action, we say where the course of action arose.
Yeah.
If it's something that is governed within the Kenyan laws, if it's a contract that you said this contract is governed by the Kenyan laws, you're supposed to give me this money and do this, you can file it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know on this channel we've said, and we will actually do it, we need to do an episode on alternative dispute resolution. Yes. I think we've mentioned it before. So if I take a case to the small claims court, are there ADR mechanisms? Within
the purview of
the small claims court? Yes.
I think I'm thinking through this logically first before I give maybe a legally substantive answer. If the law gives me a period of 3 months, it's very hard for me to say I can put in another dispute resolution mechanism within that process.
Yes.
So the way I'm thinking about it is, if you and I agree to settle the case before the end of the 3 months, well and good.
Yeah.
But unless as parties we've shown commitment to want to take the dispute to ADR and take it out of the small claims court, or to say let's go and agree and come and you record a consent for us, unless that has happened, I highly doubt the small claims court itself will say, okay, now we have this period where you can do mediation. For the other courts, it's different. Like for the children's court, most of them, they'll try and help you mediate. They'll be like, and then
have you guys tried?
Yes. But for the small claims court, even if that question is asked, I think it would be mostly procedural or to say, look, can you guys agree? Then you bring an order so that we close the case. Because they have timelines for the close as well.
Okay, I get you. So it's basically if the ADR can be done within those 3 months.
Within those 3 months and within the confines of... I don't think it will really... It's really meant to stop the process per se. It's those ones to say, look, hii time yenye tumepewa, kama nyi mnaweza enda muagree mmalizane, mkuje mnipatie tu order, we record as a consent, well and good. And that happens a lot.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So my last question would be, when you were taking us through the different courts, you told us that if I am dissatisfied with the decision of a magistrate, I can take it now to the high court, right? If I'm dissatisfied with the decision of the small claims court, can I take it to the magistrate court?
No, you have to take it to the high court.
Or it's still the high
Yes,
court?
you still take it to the high court, because I think it's the junior most, but it's still like a
It's still
subordinate.
like a magistrate
Yes, it's
court.
like a subordinate. We call them like subordinate court. So it's a subordinate court. So from there you go to the high court.
the high court.
Yes, and I think even as we come to a close of that, it's recently there's been talk on RTA cases, which used to be my favorite. RTA is road traffic accident. Sorry, RTA is road traffic accident cases. Road traffic accident cases is you drive a car, you've hit someone with a border person, someone has broken their leg, or they've died, or like they've gotten some scratches and they've sued you, or you're driving recklessly, you've hit someone that was crossing the road, ama umemkwaruza huyo mtu ameamua kwenda kukusu for like 200 Gs. For a very long time, those cases have been going to the small claims court. This year, I think January, was it? There was a judgment by the High Court stopping the hearing of all road traffic accident cases, because they were saying, look, yes, the money is below 100,000, but the process of resolution of a road traffic accident case involves sophisticated production of evidence that the small claims court should not bear the responsibility of having. Because you see, in a road traffic accident case, if I break my leg, I have to have a doctor has to come to confirm, I am okay, or I was injured. Like, there's expert witness. Okay, of course, there's you as the person who was injured to come and say, look, I was injured.
Yeah.
Then maybe a police officer will come and say, okay, look, I wrote the abstract, and even if they do not come, they'll have to put in a statement. And then there's like the whole doctor thing. There's the first doctor's medical opinion, my doctor coming and saying she really broke her leg. There's a second medical doctor's opinion from the other advocate saying, yes, she did break her leg, but come on, she's fine.
Yeah.
So I think the sophistication and process around that
Yes.
is what the High Court was looking at and saying, this was not the spirit and reason
Behind
the small claims court.
Yeah.
It was meant to hear cases, yes, but not cases that involved some sort of like sophisticated and technical hearing and determination around evidence, which has really rubbed us lawyers the wrong way. And I am among those lawyers, because I'm like, there's a lot of cases
that you need closed.
Yeah. And you're here telling me you can't,
that you have to take it to the High
you have
Court.
to take it to the High Court. Because you see, majorly, a lot of road traffic accident cases will fall within 100 to 900K. 99999. A lot of them will not go past a meter.
Yes.
So the small claims court was a place where like we could have those adjudicated and heard very quickly and move on. And even sometimes you'd see someone has filed a case in the small claims court, and the injury, you're looking at it, you're like, if this injury went to the chief magistrate's court, they would probably get a lot more money. But because the small claims court is perceived to be faster and a bit less formal, and we think things will go quickly. But now the High Court has taken that away from us. Like they say, like,
Poleni?
yes.
Okay.
And I think maybe, sorry to cut you short, and I think maybe one of the questions that we were asking ourselves as advocates is, because these cases have been, the small claims courts have been quote unquote barred from hearing those cases, then what is the ideal situation and what then happens? It then follows that all those cases that are road traffic accidents are supposed to be graduated and moved to the magistrate's court.
Yes.
So the magistrate's courts then get to hear and determine those cases.
I get.
Whether there's a stay order on that or not, I am not very sure. I've not gone as far as research on that.
Yes.
For us, we just wait to hear what directions the courts will give us on it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mihala. I hope you've learned a lot. Marvin, have you learned a lot from this episode?
Marvin anataka kusum two small claims.
Oh, aha. Okay. Yes. Creatives. I know.
By the way,
creative industry.
Creatives in yenu.
Yeah.
Influencers. Let me tell you. I think we need to have a band of influencers under a lawyer that will, a pro bono lawyer that will just be telling you, this is hii ndo farm yangu, wacha nifungue, kujeni, if you want to sue. tuweke watu small claims.
It's true.
Sindio?
Yeah,
Yes.
because I think I've had a lot of complaints from the creative industry about delays in honoring invoices and things like that. So, small
This
claims
is your
court.
chance. This is your chance.
This is your chance. Yeah.
This is your chance. I think if we open up that window, we'll teach people who are notoriously staying with people's invoices a lesson. Me, my invoice has never stayed, but sorry to you guys. I only work with one brand and they pay me on time.
Wow. Okay. On that note, let us wrap up the episode. Thank you for staying with us this far. I hope you have learned a lot from today's episode. I surely have also learned quite a bit. Yes, so for people who want to stay with my money, I'll be coming.
We're coming for you.
We're coming for you. Anyway, but we've learned that for the small claims court, we are taking civil cases, not criminal cases.
We went to Mshtaki Kilimani police station.
Yes.
Fine.
Okay. So thank you, Mihala, for your time and your wisdom on this matter. Please remember to subscribe to our channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you've already subscribed, please share with your friends, your family, your boyfriend, your ex, all of them.
Hey, usitumie channel yetu kusema hi big head. Hi big head.
Unatumia hiyo kama opportunity.
Opportunity.
Have you seen this very insightful channel?
What say you?
But see, ataona you listen to serious things.
Initiative.
Yeah.
Marvin anasema.
Yes. Okay. Yes, please remember to follow us also on our social media pages at The Random KE on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. On my personal pages, I am at Ndanuns Yuko.
On my personal pages, I am at Mihala Barasa, and on our Spotify, we're also called The Rundown KE. Please find us there. Find us there. I know, kwanza the people who run.
Yes.
People who work out. I know you just need to listen to something. Let us be the people that relax you.
Yeah. Thank you. Until we see you again.
Bye.